Hey guys, Deathletter Magic here, and you've probably heard about this by now. I was going to look into this, fully research it, watch the whole game, and then I decided that I'd rather do literally anything else with my time than that. So if this seems a little bit uninformed, it's because I just don't care about pro magic. The long and the short of it is this guy Zac clearly cheated, and nothing is happening. So as a background, this occurred at the Star City Games Invitational, whatever the hell that is. I guess it's not a GP because Star City Games doesn't hold them anymore because there's no money in it, because rumor is the attendance has been cut in half because nobody's interested in going and playing against people who have just a rigged tournament in favor of them. In other words, like 3-round buys because they exist. Wow, I wish I could just auto-win my first 3 rounds at F&M for existing. Oh, just because I outplayed somebody 6 months ago, I get some free buys. That whole system is bullshit. And whether they get free buys or not, they're going to cheat the rest of the games, okay? Almost every pro player that wins more often than they should is cheating. That's the best way I would describe it. Nobody's just that much better, okay? They're doing something to manipulate their card order, their draw, or just something to give themselves a slight advantage that's unfair that nobody else has. It's really that simple. Nobody can just say, oh, I've just been that lucky for 6 years. It turns out Fabrizio was cheating for probably 6 years. And, kudos to every one of his opponents over 6 fucking years who did not realize that he wasn't shuffling. That was how he was cheating. He was stacking his deck and then not shuffling at all. Okay, I could be playing Two-Headed Giant while playing both decks myself because of an odd number of people with marching band practice directly behind me because, where and when else are they going to hold it? Oh, and also, gotta get them taxes done, so I'd be filing my taxes at the same time. And still, if one of my 2 opponents presents me their deck without shuffling, I am going to catch that. And that's if there's $5 worth of prizes on the line. When there's $25,000 of prizes on the line, I am going to be up my opponent's ass with a microscope. Speaking of that, Zac Elsik's opponent, Brandon, I don't know, they cut off his last name with the score overlay, which is actually kind of funny if you think about it. It's like Russian or something. I'll butcher it. In fact, what the hell? It's like Kozosnowski or something like that. Or actually, it would be Chosnowski, wouldn't it? Brandon C. Brandon C. should have caught this, but in his defense, what Zac did was he tried to hide it. I mean, this is all, okay, I gotta disclaim this, all my opinion, this is my take on it. The judges who reviewed this, or the judge, had a different opinion, I guess. So everything in this video is just my take on it, not meant to be taken as actual fact. It's just the way I see things. So in my opinion, they're facts. So Zac's playing blue-white gift, and Brandon is playing blue-white control. So obviously they both should have been disqualified instantly. Just kidding. I mean, you bring that to F&M, you're an asshole. You bring it to a GP, hey, there ain't no friends here. There's no friendly magic. There's prizes, and, you're playing to win. There is literally no reason to bring a friendly, kind deck. Although Wizards did determine that if you bring eggs to a tournament, you are literally Hitler, and they banned the deck. So there is a line. It's just, are these 2 decks crossing it? I guess not. By the way, reason number 1 I don't want to watch this game, because it's blue-white versus blue-white. I'd rather watch, squirrels chase nuts on the History Channel. I feel like that might be more of a National Geographic thing. Oh well, I already said it. So there were 4 other times, I believe, during the games that Zac discarded a card with either strategic planning, champion of wits, whatever, where he had to draw then discard. And the way he stacked them, the way he carried them in his hand and put them in his graveyard was consistent every single time except the turn where he cheated. In that one, and keep in mind, I'm a professional card magician, he used misdirection and hand crossing and vectors and everything to basically just make it look like he dropped more than 1 card in his graveyard. And if the announcers caught it, they sure as hell didn't say something, but I have a feeling Wizards told them not to. I mean, if it was me, and this is probably why they don't have me announce these, I would run down to where the game is being played and call over a judge myself, and then if a judge wouldn't come over or they took issue with that, I'd probably just put a bar stool in his face. I have a bit of a zero tolerance policy when it comes to cheating. So anyway, this video, it's clear as day. You can look up the links. They're everywhere. They're all over Reddit and everything. He did not stack them side by side. He just did this gravity drop with his hand covering it from above and tilted so that his opponent can't see it. Just clear as fucking day what he did. Now, it's really hard to analyze what cards were in his hand at the time. I do know that the card he discarded was a land, and he had 11 lands in play, so that makes sense. But were the other 5 cards in his hand not lands? And even then, if he had 2 eternalized cards that both cost 6 in the graveyard, which once again, I'm not sure, I'm not going to watch the whole game, 12 would benefit him. So even if he was holding a land, which could be used as a defense, like, oh, well, he just forgot. He obviously didn't need that land. He could have tossed it in the graveyard. He just made a mistake. But let's focus on that. A mistake, okay? Champion of Wits. When it enters the battlefield, you draw cards equal to its power, then discard 2. So the first time you cast it, it's draw 2, discard 2, and then if you eternalize it, it's draw 4, discard 2. He'd been playing with the deck all day. This is the, oh god, let me think, 13th round it would be? And I'm sure he practiced with the deck beforehand. In fact, Champion of Wits isn't even from the latest set. It's not even from the latest 3 sets. Nobody's going to believe that he suddenly forgot how to play it. And he was losing, okay? On the field was Teferi, and one of his permanents, it looked like it had already been cast out. So he was losing, clearly. He had absolutely nothing in play except for 11 lands, okay? That's losing. Oh, in fact, Brandon had to disallow at least 1 in the graveyard. So, yeah, pretty safe to say Zac was utterly getting wrecked. I mean, you play Blue-White Gift against Control, you're going to lose every damn time. I mean, that deck just has no chance of beating it. Unless you can, like, out-control them and Miracle Pull them and curve out perfectly, you're going to lose. So he knows he's losing, and then, all of a sudden he discards completely differently, holds a bunch of cards in hand, and then later that game, I think it was actually even the next turn, like, I guess whatever the next turn would have been absolutely lethal, he pulls this bullshit, I guess people are calling it an angle shoot. It's when you, like, rule lawyers your opponent or try to get them with some kind of weird entrapment or, even just throw them off. Just dirty tactics. Dirty tactics in general. Really simple. So his opponent's about to win, and then suddenly, Judge, his sleeves are just the slightest tiny bit see-through if you hold them exactly like this. Which was an issue because he was, like, holding or had just played or whatever. It was on the top of his library, something like that. A double-face card. Okay, Brandon. Even I know that if you go to a tournament, you either run such dark, thick sleeves that you could never see through them, or do what every other professional player does, or any other player who knows what the hell they're doing, use the checklist proxy, the one with the correct back on it. Those aren't for, the noob players who forget and they need to do whatever. No, it's literally for top-level play. Like, that's what they're for. In case your opponent's going to bitch about how they can see through the sleeves. Now, remember, round 13, okay? Brandon got through 12 other games with his opponents not complaining at all about see-through sleeves, okay? And I would notice that real quick. You ever seen, like an Ultra Pro matte crap cheap sleeves, those really, really cheapy ones? You can see straight through them, okay? I've brought that up at FNM. I'm not going to call a judge on somebody at FNM, but I'm just like, dude, you could see through those. You really might want to switch them out with a proxy by next week. I mean, I can see it's coming. He can see it's coming if it's on top of his deck. I'd call that a wash, but it is technically against the rules. Honestly, it helps me more than it helps him, but like I said, it is against the rules. So that is Brandon's fault, and it is perfectly legit to do it, but I will add, the way he did it, the timing, the method, all that, super shady. Disqualification worthy. Failure to report that your opponent's deck is defective or that they may be cheating is cheating. That's against the rules. I guarantee he didn't suddenly catch it the turn before he was about to lose. So here's my thought. Okay, first of all, before I forget, I'm going to throw this out there. I don't know how see-through those sleeves would have been. If it was super see-through, someone in the first 12 games would have called a judge. Okay, I would have, you would have, everybody would have. If they're only see-through under, like, certain light, if you hold them up and, like, hold the sleeve open, and this ridiculous bullshit where really you can't see through the sleeves, but for some reason he convinced the judge that they're not flawlessly opaque, and the judge is like, well, they're not flawlessly opaque. That seems like, pushing it a little far. That's like I'm going to lose, so let's long shot this, and he managed to, hit a miracle, basically. So that's possible, where even Brandon thought, no, you can't see through these damn sleeves, never noticed it, but then Zac's like, maybe I could, convince him, long shot. So that's dirty, but here's my thinking, okay, this is just a theory. If Zac was under the impression that he might get a game loss instead of a round loss for, like, marked cards, which I understand, I think that is a thing that can happen, and then they just say, go get some proxies, or we'll bring you some, or swap your sleeves out, or I don't know. I don't know how you would do that with the match timer ticking. I don't know. Never been to a tournament like this, never will. But okay, so in Zach's head, he's gonna get a match loss. So what should I do? Well, I gotta win 2 out of 3 here. So a match loss and then, okay, let's resume. That will only give me a 1 game advantage. So win the first game and then very early in the second game, then report him. 1 + 1 = 2. Yay, Zach wins the round. Report him in the first game extremely early. As soon as you see the flip card and you're like, oh, I can see through it. Hey, that's just 1 win, and then you might get loss, especially, hello, blue-white gift versus control. Yeah, good luck, you're gonna lose. So I think he was trying to pull it off, and then exactly the turn before he was about to lose, turn cycle, boom, lose, just like that, suddenly he takes issue with the flip card, because instead of racking up 1 loss, and then second game giving him a game loss, now it's 1-1, he's like, let's turn this loss into a win, and then if he lets him correct it, then, okay, at least it's 1-0 instead. Strategically timing reporting your opponent for basically card marking cheating is not allowed. Okay, that's bullshit. And I heard that they were playing for the top 8 at this point, so I don't know how that works with turn 13, but maybe there weren't 16 rounds. I have no idea. So that is, once again, to reiterate, with my knowledge of the rules, that is not allowed. You cannot do that. If your opponent has, like, you suspect marked cards with fingernail marks in them, call over a judge immediately. If you wait to see if there's a more strategic time to call over a judge, you are breaking the rules, you are cheating, you should be disqualified along with them. So good job, Zach. So let's get back to his little magic trick sleight of hand. I very much recommend that you go look at them because, well, everyone on Reddit, and I don't want to give any kind of credence or whatever to the Reddit community because there's just a bunch of like douchebags, basically, a bunch of pro wannabes. I mean, they're very petty. Like one of the very first replies was, oh, I'm sure this discussion will be extremely civil. They know themselves. They know what they're about. So Zach should absolutely be disqualified for both reasons. For cheating the card knowingly, which the head judge determined later that he did not do. He said it didn't give him an advantage, it was a mistake, whatever. Zach himself on Twitter, I understand, and I looked this up myself because I just don't give enough of a shit about this entire thing. He said, yeah, I just misplayed it, get over it, people, which is obviously, if you look at the footage, a lie. He was trying to mask it, he changed the way he dropped the cards into the graveyard. It's clear as fucking day, okay? So he's lying out his ass. In my opinion. And he said, well, I misplayed strategic planning too earlier. I accidentally discarded too many or not enough or whatever. Well, there you go. Admit you cheated twice. There you go. If you realize you yourself misplayed a card, you're supposed to, like, I guess call a judge on yourself and disqualify yourself. But, like, I mean, come on. That's one of those, is anybody really going to do it things? So 2 reasons, 2 ways he cheated. 2 different methods for cheating that he should be disqualified for, and the head judge clears him on both. Okay, here's the rumor floating around. Zach and the head judge know each other, they're friends, and remember, the judges are former pro players or current pro players. Some of the pro players at these are also judges. I mean, you know, a cop pulls over his friend for speeding, is he really going to give him a ticket? You know what I mean? Conflict of interest thing here, and there is no solution for this. Maybe the judges should, like, they should be like actual judges in the judicial system, and they should have to recuse themselves from the, from the case or the investigation if they have something to do with it. Or if they're a purple-haired angry SJW who wants every white male to lose no matter what. Oh, I've got stories. Oh, just you wait for that video. The Star City Games judges, from what I've heard, this is just a story that I heard from somebody who went to it, are racist, sexist assholes. They don't care about anything other than ruining the play and the time for anybody who's a white male. If there's something questionable and you're white, bye-bye. That decision ain't going your way. So it cuts both ways. It's if they're friends or if they automatically hate you due to your gender and skin color, which that's got to be 9 different types of illegal. So obviously the head judge should be fired and banned. Obviously he should never be allowed to judge another tournament ever again. Zach should be banned from playing for at least a year for cheating twice. Brandon should have to take a 30-minute training seminar on what checklist cards are and how they work. And Zach should quit lying on Twitter. So this whole situation is a complete and utter disaster, honestly. I mean, there's 17,000 views right now, closing in at 18,000 of this clip of him cheating on Twitch. In all likelihood, that's more people than watched the entire tournament. So more people have seen a pro player cheat and then get away with it, and then seen like a 200 plus post Reddit post about people angry about it getting their pitchforks out. That's the news. That's what's coming out of this. That's what people are being presented about pro level Magic. And, oh, is that bad? Oh, we need to save the image? No, it's real. It's realistic. I was going to say this year, but I think I'll have to go back to 2017. I mean, more tournaments, I should say, had a person or more get disqualified for cheating than not, if I recall. Depends upon what you count. I mean, it could be these SCG invitationals, whatever the hell they are. Nobody cares. But GPs and PTs, people are getting nailed for cheating left and right. Okay, I have a little bit different way of dealing with this than Wizards does. What you need to do is, as the marketing people and PR people put it, quote, get out in front of it. When something bad happens, when something bad tarnishes your image or your gameplay or your anything, you giving away prizes. I know it wasn't like Wizards throwing this tournament, but still, you need to step in and say, instead of, oh, we caught somebody cheating, this is so bad. Don't worry, that guys, this isn't very common. This is not the norm. This is an anomaly, and we're punishing him. It's all good. Just don't make too much of this. With the Fabrizio incident, where it's like, oh crap, he was probably cheating for 6 years. Ooh, that makes us look bad. Instead of just, yes, the judges had been watching him specifically due to multiple reports. No. What you do is you make a mannequin, you paint it to look like him, you cut off his head with a saw live on camera, hold it up as a trophy, and then say, this asshole is banned for life. This is what will happen to you if you cheat at one of our tournaments. Zero tolerance policy. We are watching you. And then play like Big Brother by Nance. Great song, by the way. That's how you get out in front of this. That's how you look like the good guys, even though you look like the bad guys, because your tournaments are a fucking joke and everybody cheats at them. I would plant secretly a bunch of like HD quality cameras and just record like the 30 minutes of sealed pool assembly, and everybody sneaks a card in from their pocket, their sleeve, their backpack, their whatever, just rewatch it. A week after the tournament, after everybody's done, watching, reviewing the footage, find everybody who cheated, give them all lifetime bans. We're talking this would be 300, 400, 500 fucking people. And just say, hey, does this send enough of a strong message? Come to our tournament and cheat. You will never play Magic again. We are never going to hand you a single cent of prize money. Don't even show up to the tournament. You're banned from the premises. Fuck you. And then Mark Rosewater shows up on the camera and flips him off, okay? That's how you get out ahead of this. That's how you solve the image problem and the cheating problem simultaneously. Until then, nobody gives a shit about Pro Magic. It's not going to be a, quote, esport. The only esport thing about it is that it's kind of like StarCraft 2 in that there's rampant cheating, match rigging, just teams teaming up and making silent agreements and just all this crazy shit. Oh, and everybody's on Adderall and using illegal stimulants and refuse to implement any kind of drug testing policy. So yeah, I guess it kind of is an esport. But also what comes with that is nobody respects it. Clean it up, Wizards, or it's going to go nowhere. It's going to nosedive. Oh, did I say is going to? It already is. Rumor is, this is the word on the street, and there is pretty strong evidence for this, GP and Pro Tour attendance, well, maybe not Pro Tour, but GP attendance is half, okay? 1/2. It has been cut by 50% because people are just like, you're giving the pros free buys and you're letting them get away with cheating and all the judges are in on it. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm not going to pay $1,000 to travel somewhere, take off of work, rent a hotel, and then pay the exorbitant, ridiculous fucking entry fee to get cheated out of my prize money and go home. No thanks. That's the image you set right now, and but Des, you're making videos like this, making it worse. Yes, I'm making it worse. I do not agree with, I'm going to help Wizards cover it. I'm going to cover it up for image reasons so that I don't, lose them money. Boo-hoo, oh no. What if I lose Channel Fireball some income because nobody wants to go to their bullshit tournaments anymore? They're the ones who didn't fucking clean it up, okay? So that's how I would deal with it, but, you're probably thinking, but it's not that important. I don't care about pro play. Well, it makes the company look bad. It makes the card game look bad. I mean, just to outsiders, it's like, all I've ever heard about Magic is that people constantly cheat at it. Like that, if you think that wouldn't translate to them not wanting to play at the local level, I think it would, because if they're like, it's just a cheater game. It's just everybody cheats at it. They don't know, they're new to the game. They might think that does translate to the local level. That could actually harm sales, or just, the company lets people get away with cheating and covers it up. Even if I don't personally think that that'll happen at the local level, I don't want to support that. I don't want to give a company like that money. It's just, you just have this negative idea of Magic. It's in the back of your head. You're like, maybe I should play it. My friend said to play it and it's really cool. And I saw them play a match and it looked fun. But didn't I hear on the internet about, God, all these cheaters and everything? I don't want to get involved in that. I could see that being a thing. It's called a negative connotation and a negative brand image. You do not want that. So fix it, Wizards. That's why I'm like, hey, this is important. That's why I cover this kind of stuff. It really needs to get fixed. And this is coming from somebody who, I personally do not have the money, the time, the interest, or just any reason to go to a Grand Prix or Pro Tour. That's just so not my thing. I don't care. I'm not interested in it at all. But I still don't just think, I know they need to fix this. So accountability, fire the judge, ban Zac, fix this. So that's about it on this story. If you have any other details, leave them down in the description. A lot of people who look way into this and read every Reddit reply and, verify the facts and all that, I much appreciate it because I'm sure as hell not going to do that. You give me a product leak or something or some new product information or a change in the paper quality, I'm going to investigate that like CSI. But, some pro thing that happened, I don't care about Pro Magic. I'm just not going to look into it. Well, past the very surface and the basic details. So feel free to investigate yourself. Leave any comments down in the comment section that are relevant. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to buy one of my amazing t-shirts on teespring.com, link in the description. And I'll see you guys next video.